There once was a man named Gol D Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
My deck list are yours for the taking, but you'll have to find them first. I left everything I played in one piece.
Ever since then, players from all over the world set sail for the top 16, searching for One Piece, the serial card that will make all their dreams come true.
Yo!
Gol D Roger, the menace of the seas and the king of the pirates, has finally made it ashore. And if you'd like to learn how to play him, here's everything you need to know. Roger is a 5-life red-purple 7k power leader with a passive for his ability. If you have any Dawn on your field, give this leader one of the Dawn cards that would be added during your Dawn phase. While you have 9 or fewer Dawn on your field, this leader has minus 2000 power. Dual colored, 5-life, 7000 power leader. You're joking, right? The normal trade-off for a dual-colored leader is their life total. In most cases, we sacrifice having 5 life to gain access to 2 colors. With our leader ability forcing us to commit a Dawn to our leader until we have a full 10, while in tandem shutting off our 7k base power, we're still swinging for at least 6k power every turn. This ability kind of feels familiar somehow. Well, in any case, hopefully there's a way to get Dawn faster. Oh wait, we're purple. Our searcher for this deck comes to us as a 1-cost 2k power, 1k counter purple Shanks from OP13, looking for the top 5 of our deck, finding a Roger type pirate and bottoming the rest in any order. Blessedly, we're able to play Shanks on our first turn since our Roger ability firstly checks if we have any Dawn on our field, then attach one that would be added to our Dawn area. So no matter what turn we start the game, we are able to play our Shanks out with no problem. This Shanks, however, is our only searcher in the deck, which is kind of tough consistency-wise, which will be a recurring thing with this deck. It's a bit early to mention our 2Ks, but it feels wrong to separate these two. Buggy is a 2-cost, 2k power, 2k counter, who's on play if our leader has the Roger Pirates type and has attached Dawn, allows us to add a Dawn from our Dawn deck as rested. Sweet! Our first ramper. This type of ramping style will start to sound like a broken record with the next cards I'm going to mention, so bear with me. Douglas Bullet joins us as a 3-cost 4k power character whose passive ability checks if we have 8 or more Dawn. If we do, give this character plus 2k power with an on play that lets us ramp a rested Dawn if our leader is Roger Pirates and has a Dawn attached. See what I mean? Dougie B is a great body to slam on second curve as we still have 3 open Dawn, allowing us to ramp to 5 Dawn, meaning we'd get 6 Dawn to play with on our turn 3 with 1 directly attaching onto our leader. But we need more ramp! The way we need our members who support this channel and get access to our videos up to 2 weeks early, as well as emotes and other great perks. Without your support, we couldn't cover the One Piece trading card game, and more recently, Riftbound, the League of Legends trading card game. Bond Clay from EBO1, yes, that Bond Clay, is a 4-cost 1k power, 1k counter character that on play ramps us 1 active Dawn and has a when attacking, you may select one of your opponent's characters and copy their base power for the turn. If we're up against a deck whose endgame is to produce a whole bunch of big bodies, Ace and then Bond Clay stands there.
Menacingly!
Alright. So we played Dougie B, we have 6 Dawn to play with, and 1 attached onto our leader. Now what? Well, we play Scooper Gaban, one of the wings of the Pirate King. He's a 6-cost 7k power 1k counter character from OP13. His on-play checks if our leader is a Roger Pirates type, doesn't need it to have Dawn attached by the way, draws 2 cards and discards 1 card from your hand. Then add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as rested. So we get a big body that has a filter effect to help us prepare for the end game, as well as ramping us 1. So provided we've gone second, played Dougie B, and then dropped either Bond Clay or Gaban, we should be at 8 Dawn, meaning our next turn will be at 10 Dawn and our full 7k power unlocked. Great! Okay, so we're a 7k power leader now, but we're still shackled by attaching 1 Dawn to our leader, at least for this 1 turn. We'll use this turn to play another crazy body on the field, the other wing of the Pirate King, Silver's Rayleigh, from OP13. As an 8-cost 9k power with Rush, he also comes with an on-play that checks if we have any given Dawn. In this example, we do. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Then at the end of this turn, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. Allowing us to gain the Dawn at the end of the turn is great in the event we get hit with a Hell's Judgment trigger in our opponent's life, or to even up the going first curve for us so we can start next turn with 10 Dawn. That sounds crazy, right? A big rusher that rests a 5 cost and ramps us a Dawn at the end of the turn as active? The cool thematic thing is if we had Gavin on board from the turn before, then we now have Gavin hitting for 7k, Roger hitting for 8k, and Rayleigh for 9 all in the same turn. The old generation's monster trio striking all together at the same time. Okay, that's pretty awesome, but there's something even greater. But before we can talk about them, let's talk about the card that comes before that. 10 cost, 13k power Gol D Roger. The big guy, the head honcho, your boss monster. Or is it? This Roger has a blanket passive. Your leader and all of your characters that do not have Roger Pirates in their type have their effects negated? His on-play Dawn minuses 3 to give our leader plus 2k power until the end of our opponent's next end phase, while giving all of their characters minus 2k power until their next end phase, creating an insurmountable gap in power between your leader and their board. I personally don't like this card, and to be honest, many deck builders and competitivists agree, with early data from Japan not even trying to bother with the card. Not only are you turning off all your non-Roger effects, the price for it is just too steep. It sets your next turn back tremendously despite having a 13k power character on board, and after all, a blocker on board is the same as 5 2ks in hand, so you know. Let's talk about a better replacement, one that you'll be getting in almost every official tournament store event in December as a participation promo. 8 cost, 10k power Gol D Roger. His on play checks if your opponent has 10 Dawn cards on their field. Your leader gets plus 2k power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. The tempo and cadence for this effect is perfect for the way we play this deck. Being able to play this card the turn after we would play Silver's Rayleigh helps to shore up our defenses, as by this time our opponent should have caught up in Dawn with us for us to match the conditions necessary to turn into a 9,000 power leader until the end of our opponent's next turn. Finishing off the OP13 cards following us into this deck are our events. Divine Departure, no, not that one. A 0 cost dual modal event whose main, you may rest 5 of your Dawn cards. If you have any attached Dawn, up to one of your opponent's characters gets minus 8k power during this turn. And in the counter phase, trash 1 card from your hand to give up to one of your characters or leaders plus 3k power during the battle. This card's power level is self-explanatory. For paying 5 Dawn and having 1 attached, we minus 8k power a large threat or a useless kid, and for 0 Dawn plus a card, it's a bad manners kick course. We really anticipate this card being a heavy purple staple that people should consider splashing into their decks should the meta deem fit. After this is 1 cost, let's give it a go and kill each other if we're still alive. Another dual modal event. On main, we can rest an additional Dawn to ramp a rested Dawn under the usual Roger Pirates ramp conditions. Counter, our leader gains plus 3k for the battle. Those plus 3k power counters go a long way when our leader is 7k. And now that I've gone over all the OP13 cards I personally would be willing to place in the deck, let's take a look at all the other cards following us in. So far, we have only listed 1 2k counter character, right? So let's introduce 3 cards I'd consider strong includes for our counter spot. Sanji from OP01 is a 2 cost, 3k power, 2k counter character that has an activate main. Once per turn, we may add 1 card from our life to our hand. This character then gains plus 2k power for the turn, then give him up to 2 rested Dawn. This card is what we need should our opponent choose to starve us out of our life, allowing us to dig into our life for important ramp pieces if we're unable to find them while pressuring our opponent with a 7k power swing. Uda from Starter Deck 23 is a 6 cost, 4k power, 2k counter blocker that has a passive effect. If we have a character with 10k power or more, give this card minus 4 cost in our hand, making her an effective 2 cost blocker. And to be honest, yeah, we're gonna easily have a 10k power body on our field. Something to note, it doesn't say original power here, so Dawn equipping a character into 10k range just so we can play Uta out for 2 is super viable. And Usahachi from Starter Deck 18, a 3 cost, 3k power, 2k counter character whose on play checks if we have 8 or more Dawn. Rest up to one of our opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. This card is an easy auto-include, as it always opens up the opportunity to snipe our opponent by removing a blocker or force their character rested to attack board. Speaking of getting through blockers, Gol D Roger himself from OP09 is very good at dealing with this blocker-centric meta. As a 10 cost, 13k power brush character, he has a passive ability that says if our opponent activates blocker, if either you or your opponent have 0 life, you win the game. This character is perfect for blasting through literally every top deck in the triangle. Ace's Marco blockers, Emu's Warkery and Mars, and Zoro's Koshiros and Laws all must bow before the king. 10 cost 12k Rush Shanks from OP09, whose passive ability minuses all character power on your opponent's field by 1k, also helps as a combat-based removal card that establishes a dominating presence on the board. Especially good into Emu when all those elders are at 7k power from Jupiter. Want something a bit more defensive? 9 cost Edward Newgate from way back in OP02 is a good option, with his on-play giving plus 2k to our leader's power until the start of our next turn, and then barring us from adding life cards from our life area to our hand by our own effects. His Dawn ×2 when attacking also allows us to KO up to one of our opponent's characters with 3000 power or less. This functions similarly to our 8 cost Roger, but helps us to blast through the likely opponent blockers I mentioned earlier in the video. And a rather unlikely character you'd find hanging around this group, 8 cost Charlotte Katakuri, an 8 cost 8k power blocker whose at end of turn effects choose up to 2 Big Mom type pirates with a cost of 3 or more, and set them as active. Then add up to 1 Dawn from our Dawn deck and rest it, allowing us to ramp up on the turn we play him into either a perfect 10 Dawn free to play with, or 9 Dawn to bring us to 10 at the start of our turn. He can also choose himself as a character to restand as active, allowing him to hit hard, then start turtling back up for us. This card is perfect for setting up a blocker and ramp piece when we don't have our usual suspects. All of the cards mentioned above are reasons why that 10 cost Gol D Roger from the set is a non-optimal inclusion for this deck. It turns off too many good cards that we could utilize. Imagine if there was a Bonnie specific top end card that turned off all effects of non-Bonnie pirates. That'd be terrible, right? Well, same difference here. Roger is a deck that lives and dies on finding the correct cards in the correct sequence on curve. And for that reason alone, he struggles to bring consistency to his game plan. There are so many decks that Roger would be if only he could get what he needed every single game turn for 6 to 8 games straight. But when he works well. It's easy to defend a 7k leader, and putting our opponent at a combat deficit is also easy. Watching them overcommit resources and Dawn and getting them to make mistakes on their turn, and then capitalizing on the board on the crackback helps to secure our win. Be careful though, as most players will force a starve strategy to get our hand devoid of counter, or they'll try to rush you down early when you're still vulnerable and at their power level. Dawn minus strategies also throw your game tempo off by a turn, which in key moments could make or break your deck. With little options to pivot since you need to ramp and a restriction on resources since you're required to attach, you might even feel strangled by your own game plan. Just some things to bear in mind. And as always, here are a couple of lists to help you get started. This deck placed first in a 3v3 event in Thailand, while this deck placed second in another 3v3 event hosted by Bandai in Japan. And if you're looking for more leader guides or more fun One Piece content, check out the channel and subscribe.